could you give us like an elevator pitch about yourself and your business?
My name is Lisa Mullen. I'm the CEO of Drōv Technologies. Drōv is a leader in the smart truck and trailer movement. So we are basically enabling smart and safe technology on the trailer and ultimately the truck.
Let's talk about some of your initial products. What do you have out right now?
Working our way through proof of concept for our technology solution, which is the AirBoxOne, which is controls our inflation and deflation on the trailer dynamically based on the load on the vehicle. So as the trailer is loaded, it calculates the optimal tire pressure and adjusts accordingly. And then in that same box, we have an IoT gateway that will connect to sensor capabilities around the trailer. Everything from door lock, GPS, accelerometer, refrigeration temperature, wheel end temperature, light out detection, camera, cargo sensing capabilities, just to name a few of the initial feature sets.
If you could explain to those that may not be familiar, how is tire safety so helpful and beneficial to the environment?
Right. So there's a financial ROI in terms of fuel efficiency and the savings that come with just standard tire inflation or tire management. And then naturally there are safety features. So only if you have, properly inflated and managed tires are you going to prevent critical issues such as blowouts or, leaks that lead to that. So our system is able to detect not only typical leaks, like when you roll over something, but we can get down to valve stem leaks and diagnose situations that could ultimately, if left undiagnosed, become bigger problems for the fleet. And then when you think about the movement toward, and in addition to that, along with tires, one of the big things is wheel end fires. So being able to diagnose if your bearings are heating up or if the temperature on your wheel end is getting to a critical level, our system is able to alert the driver and the fleet of those issues so that you're preventing situations that might occur if it gets to a critical level. And then think about drivers today. So drivers today are required to go check the pressure on their tire. And they're required to do some of the visuals around the trailer. Our goal is to help them, assist them in that. So we have certain technologies that will give you the health status of the trailer before they leave. And it will alert them of critical events on the road. Then jump ahead and think of autonomous. There are, people are thinking about the autonomous truck, but they have yet to think about the 80,000 or however many thousands of pounds behind them that's being pulled. And so if that trailer is not efficient, the autonomous vehicle as a whole is not efficient. Tire care becomes critical, right? Because you don't have the driver in those situations. Cargo theft, things, like that become important when the driver's not there.
I want to kind of rewind a little bit. I'd like to hear your origin story with the company and how everything got started.
Sure. So a group of investors and business partners of mine bought the company quite a few years ago when it was just a mechanical tire inflation product. We were in the market and having sales. We had some business decisions to make and personnel situations that while we were diagnosing those, realized there were warranty issues with the existing mechanical product. What we did was we made somewhat bold decision to take all of that product off the market, re-engineer our basic wheel end componentry. So that's the what goes on to the trailer on the axle plug. And while we did that, we took a look at the market and said, there's all this money going into technology and into the truck. And really, there's no technology or very little going into the trailer. And in addition to that, we had the notion of inflating and deflating on load, but we had prototype, we hadn't really fleshed that out. So at that time, with what was not happening in the market for the trailer side, but what was happening on the truck, we really thought, let's make this more of a technology solution. And so that's what we've spent the last few years doing, is building out a comprehensive technology solution that can lead the trailer industry from now into the future.
What is the future for you?
Well, the future for us is we are in the process, as I mentioned, of getting through this, proof of concept phase. We have a very robust trailer offering, and what we're doing now is going through our first production runs at 4 of the OEs, and really it's the first time that a trailer from axle up is being built in a smart and more efficient way. So the immediate future is working through what that looks like. It's a little disruptive to the OEs also, because we're asking them to do things that they haven't been asked to do before. So we're working through that process. We've got great local and national test partners that are pushing us to think in the future even more. And so 2021 will be about commercialization of this product, getting it sales through the OEs, as well as aftermarket if the fleet is interested in upfitting some of their existing trucks and trailers. But what's really exciting is that we're positioned to continue to develop the future of trailer technology. And so we're being challenged and asked about technology that maybe leans towards working with autonomous trucks, or advanced safety features that aren't offered in the market. And the way that we've built our platform, unlike anyone else in the industry, is really in an open and agnostic way that we can receive and we can work on that those capabilities. So the future for me is about development and really pushing the industry forward and maybe disrupting processes and the ways that people think about the trailer industry. And then there'll be an integration into the truck side as well.
How do you see just autonomous trucks kind of disrupting the industry right now, changing things up?
Well, I'm not schooled in autonomous trucks, right? I read what I read. I think there's a lot of different timelines that are suggested and provided in the industry. There are certainly a lot of people and groups working on that. But I think of it like, what are the needs right now with drivers? Because there'll be a transition period of, drivers only all the way to autonomous. And so how do we safely take people from where we are today into the future? And again, we're focused on the trailer side of that. So, can we have safer roads now? And can we support the drivers and the fleets in the way that they need now into the future?
I'd also like to pick your brain and what's your thoughts of being an entrepreneur here in Oklahoma like?
Well, I have a bit of a different, it's a little different because I've been involved as an owner and an investor and sort of been involved in the evolution of Drōv, but not necessarily, I'm the creator of the idea and taking it. So it's a little bit different, in that regard, but, and we started here. We've been in Minneapolis doing some R&D, and we came back to Oklahoma about a year ago. And we're really excited to be back. This is an Oklahoma company. I think it's perfectly positioned in terms of where it exists in the country in terms of transportation. And we're excited to build and grow our capabilities here. There are inherently certain challenges, I think, when it comes to an understanding of technology and opportunity with companies. I think that's growing here and awareness is growing, but probably not as sophisticated as it could be, will be. I'm optimistic that it will be. And then I think just resource-wise, I'm optimistic that it's going to grow in terms of finding the right hires. We've had to hire some people from out of state, and we've certainly found some good people here as well. But those are the challenges that you wouldn't face, on either coast. But I see them more as opportunities, really.
I'd like to ask, what career advice would you like to give to people younger, like the younger generation, who kind of want to get into this more technology development that you're so passionate about?
Just from what they should look for, or, what, I guess the best way to answer that is what I'm seeing with our team. We have a really incredible team of engineers and product people, business people. The culture in our office is one that is inviting. And, when we hire someone and they say to me, I've never really worked at a job where I am not that excited to leave at 5 and can't wait to get here the next morning at 8. That's exactly what you want to hear from, an owner and CEO perspective. But you want to work at a place that facilitates a culture that you're doing something meaningful and interesting in your job, but you also really enjoy the people that you work with. And so that's what I would tell people. You know, life is pretty short, so enjoy what you're doing, and hopefully you can marry what your passion is or what your interest is with a company that supports that and really facilitates growth in your job. Is that answering the question?
Oh, yeah, actually, that kind of leads to another question. Actually, I would love to hear your thoughts and advice to other entrepreneurs. What does make a great environment? Like, what are some of the elements that you have that really contributes to, happy employees?
You know, from my perspective, I think it all comes down to respect for people and facilitating a team environment. I know that it's sort of like, well, that's common sense. Of course you do that, but not everybody does that. And I think that it's really important to show people that if you're the CEO, you will go out still and sweep the floor if it needs to be swept, or you'll pack boxes or sort inventory, that we're all in it together. I mean, that's my approach, right? I'm not necessarily a top-down person. I think that conveying to people that, what we're doing is amazing and you should be proud of yourself, but we're also proud of you in terms of the work that you're putting in. I don't know, it really comes down to just showing appreciation and verbalizing it. I think a lot of times people in management positions assume that people know that they're appreciated because they're doing good work, but it's important to remind people every day that what they're doing is incredible and valued, and they are valued.
Some great advice. I guess I'm kind of getting wrapped up. You've done so well answering all my questions, so I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. Is there anything else you want to share, talk about the company that you feel like I should know, or anything else you want to discuss that we didn't touch upon?
My one friend said, it's the overnight success that took 10 years. That's what they say in the industry. And I think that many of my colleagues and friends, oftentimes it takes longer, it costs more, and it's hard. But if you feel that what you're doing, there's a market for it, significant change will happen, you stay the course. But I think we don't hear that enough, right? Like, it is hard. It's not going to happen within a year. But if you can really validate that what you're doing is wanted and needed, and then that's what you keep doing it for. So I don't know if it's kind of a weird way to say that. I think sometimes people think that businesses are going to succeed and things are going to happen faster than they are, but they don't.
Now, from my own personal experience, it seems to have taken years. I'm still working on a big project myself that's like, I know it's going to take me years. And
yeah,
some people, it's going to like, oh, this thing just popped up overnight. No, I've been working on towards this for like a good 10 years,
But beyond that, no, I think just in general, the opportunities for Drōv are incredibly exciting. I mean, within the industry, many people have told us that we're 2 to 3 years ahead of anybody else, which is a great position to be in. And so now it's time to execute. And I think when you put together that we have an incredible product, we're building a great team here. We can't wait to add more people here in Oklahoma, and we have great test partners. And so when you put all of those together, we're in a great position to go into the market.
Well, what would you like to say about your team that you would like people to know?
I think a big part of it is surrounding yourself with people who share the same vision and the same work ethic is really important, because you will come across like times when you have to make difficult decisions. Should we do, A, B, or C? And so alignment is really important. And I've been very lucky to have that along the way. So I think that's key. Think about, it's hard to turn some people away, but at the end of the day, you have to take a close look at, is this the right fit for us and where we're headed? Even if this person is incredibly qualified, I think intuition is a big part of the hiring part of what we do.